other women, and here she has all her answers here. So.
Hello.
Leeyah Gbowee. And this is Janet Johnson, who's also in the film. She's a journalist.
I was just answering the question for you about how you became a leader from being an ordinary person.
Sorry I'm late. We got off at the corner and the driver told us half a block, and because we don't know blocks, we walk almost 2 miles the other way. I was the one of those women who initiated the Women Peace Building Network. That was a program for women peace builders, and I brought the idea back from Accra in November of 2000, and we started that network in Liberia. Then the organizers in Accra asked if I could coordinate. So at the time I was the only Liberian who had 2 jobs. I worked as a case worker with the Lutheran Church program, and then I was coordinating the work of the women. So in 2003 March, I resigned my full-time job and decided to take on the Women Peace Building job without any budget and without anything, but because of my conviction that women could definitely be good peace builders. So in April of 2001, when the Christian and Muslim women called and said we had to do something, we decided yes, we would do it, and they asked the Women Peace Network to coordinate. And because I was the coordinator at the time, they thought I should lead the process. But somehow there were other women who could have been the spokesperson and the face of the movement. They all decided there and then that I should be the spokesperson and I should be the face of the movement. So one minute I'm organizing a program for Women Peace Builder, and the next minute I am the leader of a mass action campaign of over 2,500 women. So that's, the women actually asked me to be the face of the campaign and the voice of the campaign. Well, we've always had a good relationship on the surface. And I say on the surface because Liberia is such a small country, 3 million people. I have some Muslim cousins, but people tend to shy away from the discussion around religion. It's okay if we are just women and just interacting, but as soon as the thing of Christian and Muslim come up, people shy away from it. So it never really became an issue until we started that first campaign we called the Peace Outreach Project to raise the awareness amongst women. And then we realized that there were tensions. The women were saying things like, these Muslim women are the reason why we weren't successful in this community, or these Christian women were the reason why we didn't get this group to talk to us. And so by the time we ended that awareness, that first phase, we decided to have a 3-day roundtable consultative meeting amongst the Christian and the Muslim women. And that was when we knew that we really had religious problems that we had been sweeping under the rug for many years. Because the women entered the room and automatically it was Christians on one side and Muslim on the other side. One of the most amazing things about that particular meeting was 2 women who entered the room. They drove together in the same car, one a Christian, one a Muslim, and they talked up until they enter the room, and then everyone went to, and then it became an issue of Christian and Muslim. But by the time we started using phrases like, does the bullet know a Christian from a Muslim? Can the bullet pick and choose? You know, and let's go back to the war and the number of deaths. How many Christians have died? How many Muslims have died? Rape, are they asking if you are a Christian or a Muslim before you are raped? All of these things really got to them, but especially the Christian women. They were the ones who felt their faith would be diluted if they work with the Muslim women. There was one Christian woman who was really strong. She had a good number of followers, and she was like, she couldn't work with the women, she couldn't do this and she couldn't do that. And by the time we started working with her, we found out that her mother was a Muslim. So what we did was to also bring 2 older women who had been friends for over 50 years one a Christian, one a Muslim. And these two women in their community had been condemned as witches. And we brought them to sit and tell their stories of how their friendship, minus their faith, kept the two of them going. And they hammer in the message that if women had to succeed in whatever they did, they needed to forget about religion and just do it because they share similar problems and similar issues.
Can I ask one more question to follow up on this, and then I'll stop. The men are not in the room, but are they present in the ideas that are being talked about?
Not at all. Not at all. The beauty of the work that we did was that we did it on our own. And we had several phrases that we use women as strategic thinkers to get them on board. Adding and stirring, separating and preparing to mix with the real group. So the idea was that we were separating women, preparing them to get into the larger peace building field. So those were some of the phrases that we use to really get women to say, we can do this. Because we're working with grassroots women who always consulted with their husbands. But by the time we started using the word women building bridges for reconciliation, Christian Muslim women working together for peace, women as strategic thinkers, women being separated to grow in the process of peace building, all of these different things just captured their imagination. It was like, okay, I don't need to consult with him anymore.